Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to share a story about how I quit caffeine. I have been working for myself since 2019. One of the habits that I picked up over the last few years is actually drinking coffee. So pre-working for myself, I never drank coffee. In college, I know, I can't believe it either. After I started working for myself, I felt the need to be more productive and do more, and so I started getting the habit of drinking coffee. Most of the days that I work, I usually just drink 1 cup in the morning. I kickstart my day and I get going. But after a while, I started noticing that I got dependent on it. I would use caffeine as a pre-workout. I would use caffeine to celebrate my milestones. I drink coffee for fun. I would get a milk tea if I went out with somebody. I just use coffee as an excuse for anything. There were so many instances that caffeine was just part of my life. After a while, I started developing anxiety. What would happen is that I would drink coffee in the morning. Sometimes I would drink coffee later in the day, and because it was later in the day, then it would push back my sleeping schedule. I would have anxiety about sleeping, and then when I finally slept, I would have anxiety about getting up in the morning in order to do more work. It got really unhealthy. Eventually, I would use it to avoid feeling different feelings. I would use it to avoid feeling fear that some experiment that I'm going to try for work is going to fail. I would use it to avoid sadness, and I would just throw myself into work instead. I even used it as an excuse to just do more stuff, and so I would avoid or not go out with friends, and eventually became a really bad habit. One day I woke up and decided, you know what, I'm going to not do this anymore. But it wasn't as easy as it seemed. I always knew I had an issue with caffeine, but the first day that I decided to quit, I told my partner, and then I started noticing myself have so many cravings. Midday, I was like, oh my God, I want coffee, but I can't do it. And so I started searching for different alternatives. So I found a different alternative that has like very little caffeine. And then I told my partner, hey, I'm looking for an alternative. And then he's like, hey, I have to keep you accountable. So he throws it in the trash can. And then I start crying and I'm like, oh my God, like I really was actually addicted to this stuff. So how did I quit? I started tracking days that I don't drink coffee. I started realizing that it wasn't really the relationship with coffee or caffeine that was really bad, but its association with work that was actually really bad. What I noticed is that I would turn to caffeine or would want caffeine because I would feel anxious about being productive or doing more. And so what I learned over time is that it's not that I can't have caffeine, it's just that I have to have some guidelines around caffeine. There are two main guidelines that I put around caffeine. One, I can't drink it if it's related to work, but I can drink it when it's related to pleasure. So I can go out and have a coffee with friends, but I can't go out and get a coffee to work. The second guideline that I put was around sleeping. So making sure that if I were to drink caffeine, it has to be before 11 a.m. and at least 12 hours before I actually sleep. What I was learning was how to trust my body again and how to create energy naturally. So taking naps during the day really helped. Taking walks during the day. These were just things that were available to me, but I never did them because I was afraid that I wouldn't have enough time. That is the story of how I quit caffeine. Today, I am 7 months off of being addicted to caffeine. I have felt more energized. I have felt more in tune with my body. I feel like I can hear the thoughts in my head instead of the constant buzzing and anxiety. And so it's brought so much health benefits as well as lifestyle benefits.